Hi, welcome to another weekly garden update. We're starting at the other end of the garden this time because, frankly, I just got home from buying chick feed. So, we've got the calamansi tree. This has actually grown pretty significantly over the last week. Like, that there is new. So, hopefully it'll continue to get bigger. Let's go over here. I'm kind of not paying much attention to these two. They're blueberry bushes that haven't done very well because the birds eat all my blueberries. Then over here, this is kind of my mixed bed. Let's zoom out. It's kind of my mixed weirdness bed. Over here we've got mostly cherry tomatoes, and these have actually been producing pretty well. Like if you look, zoom in, there are a lot of little tomatoes on these things. More over there. So that's actually been doing pretty well lately. Over here, I think I've got weird cross-pollination issues with my peppers, because none of these peppers look like what they should have been. Like, I think these are banana peppers over on this plant. Those should be habaneros. At least I planted habaneros and jalapenos. But there's like weird cross-pollination issues, and frankly, have you ever seen a banana pepper that color? I sure haven't. And over here, this is mixed Thai chilies and serranos, and they've been producing pretty well. If you look, yeah, there are some that are on the ground that have just, like, they weren't doing well, so I just cut that pepper off and let it fall. But I need to come out here and harvest a lot of these because they're ready. And these are finally getting kind of big. For the most part, most of these peppers have been way too small for the last year, but they're producing like crazy. I counted yesterday and I've got like 40-some peppers out here. Come around here, this is the eggplant and tomato bed. This was supposed to be all tomatoes, but my wife planted eggplant here, so we got eggplant. Now, the eggplants don't seem to be doing very well. Some of them are tiny, like that plant. I mean, if I put my hand over there, you can see that is just way too short. But it is producing a fruit back there and getting an eggplant. Same thing there, it's producing eggplants, but this one's got some kind of weird disease issue if you look at the leaves. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Over here, this tomato, it's got a bug on my hand. This is one of my heirloom tomatoes, and I think this is a good example of why you shouldn't necessarily grow heirlooms. I know a lot of people seem focused on them because in theory you can save seeds and you get the sustainability out of them. But I planted 12 seeds. I got 2 plants, only one of which survived to be more than a few inches tall, and this plant has given me exactly 2 tomatoes, one of which was rotten. And as you can see, they're very susceptible to disease. I'm getting very little yield off this thing. Like this gave me 2 tomatoes, and over there at the other end of the bed, which are all hybrids, I mean, I can see 2 tomatoes right where I'm standing. There's 3, 4 in the picture there. One's red. And then similar on this next plant, you know. Can't quite see them on camera. Yeah, fruit there. We got fruit over here. Lots of tomatoes. So the tomatoes have definitely been doing well this week. And there, you probably can't see it on camera, but there is a giant spider web a couple inches in front of me. So I'm not going to walk through there because I don't want to get covered in spider web. Let's go around this way. I do wish I had used taller tomato cages because, as you can see, this one just kind of went all the way over and is falling down. But it's still producing lots and lots of fruit for me. So I'm going to be making salsa probably tonight. Continue around without walking through spider web. Okay, now over here, these buckets were originally garlic. I pulled most of the garlic up and I started planting beans in there. These are strike beans, and they're coming up. Some in that bucket, some in that bucket. And I'm mostly using those as a cover crop, just to fix the nitrogen in the soil after the garlic's depleted it a little. And same thing in here. You can see that's a bean, this is a weed, that's a weed. More weeds. But that's a bean, and there's a bean there. And some more weeds, and I don't know what that other thing is, so we'll leave it. But hopefully I'll get some beans out of these, and it'll help the nitrogen levels. Over here, I also planted beans, and absolutely nothing has come up. That's all weed. My old chard, I'm not even harvesting this. I should probably just let that die and start it over. It's really nasty leaves on there. They're very leathery after the freeze last winter, and the plant doesn't seem to have really recovered. On the other hand, my new chard plants seem to be doing much better. So hopefully we'll get some chard off those. And my wife's pepper over there, you can see, is a fairly good... My camera will focus. There. We're starting to get some peppers on those. That's a bell pepper, same there. And there's a couple fruits. Zoom in, you can see those. And then I've got an overgrown tomato that I need to prune. Some bok choy that we're just letting go to seed. And we decided to plant some okra for the summer. So we planted a pack of 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, and 3 there, and we'll thin these out as they get big. We planted more because we're using really old seeds, and we have no idea if the seed was any good. It looks like most have come up, and they're just still pretty small at the moment. So we'll probably just kill off the extras there. Here's my bucketed tomatoes. These were basically a situation where I had too many tomato seedlings, so I just stuck them in buckets. These buckets have been reused a lot of times, and I think I've got some disease in there. If you look at the leaves there's something wrong with that. They shouldn't be yellow. So that needs to get pruned later too. But I mean, as you can see, if you look down there on the ground, they are producing tomatoes. And those 4 buckets there are moringa. So those should actually get to be about 10 feet tall if they can put out the root system for it. There are holes in the bottom of these buckets, so they are putting roots into the ground a little bit. But we'll see how these do. In theory, these are trees, but they're not frost tolerant, so they will probably die when it freezes. No chickens this morning. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have left my chair there because it's gotten rained on, and I think chicken poop. Come on, where's my chickens? Where are you ladies? That's weird. I'll check on them in a few minutes. This was my attempt at planting beans and corn near where the septic sprays. And that got infested with snakes, and I don't feel like playing with venomous snakes, so we're just letting that go. And I don't know, in a month or two, I'll probably run a lawnmower over it. My neighbor's house is getting built. But if you look closer, here's our peach tree. And this peach tree seems to be producing absolutely no fruit, no leaves. I don't even know if that's dead or not. We're just kind of letting it go and seeing what nature does. So that's it for this week, and I need to go check on the chickens. See y'all later.